Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Can we have the conversation? Because we have to go through the eras. This is very similar to when we argue eras in sports, right? Like, who's the greatest? Everyone will say, like, Michael Jordan, so on and so forth. But it's only fair to compare the eras. And then we have a best of the era. But then we have to be constructive and compare eras. Modern day sports talk doesn't have this. They mention it, but they don't do it. So when it comes to film buffery and film criticism, we have to do something similar. I consider the 90s the greatest era in American film. When we scoop it all together. The run of blockbusters, the run of truly independent movies. All of these things in film history coagulated, solidified, became something, emerged out of the ether, if you will, during the 90s. And the 2000s benefited from it as well. Some of you, I know, some of you children out there that cannot grow up will say, it's the 80s because of Ghostbusters and Back to the Future. It's time for you to sit down. So we have, I want to bring you guys the air date. March 27, 1995. This is the Oscars. Hosted by David Letterman. Forrest Gump, nominated for 13, wins 6. I remember watching these. It was fun watching Forrest Gump just sweep everything. This is where also like Woody Allen got on my radar. Bullets Over Broadway, but previously was Mighty Aphrodite. You always remembered Woody Allen, Annie Hall, Manhattan. The young Bill film buff in me knew those because those were, those were the pictures that took all the Oscars and momentum away from Star Wars actually doing something at the Academy. Woody Allen essentially cockblocked Star Wars. So like there was some lore around him. But we get these nominations for Best Picture. We got to talk about it. The Shawshank Redemption. Pulp Fiction. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Forrest Gump. And today's topic. Quiz Show. Robert Redford. John Turturro. Ray Fiennes. Quiz Show. Of all the movies I just named, that's the one your boy here returns to frequently. And recently, it just dropped down to $5 on Amazon Digital. I bought it for $5. Put it on, kept it on repeat. The more I watch Quiz Show, the more I just research and study and learn along the movie. I can't watch Quiz Show enough without identifying just endless nuance. And you can say this happens with any other well-made movie. I get it. It does. It probably does. But sometimes like there's a cross-section. There's like subject matter and you and something that's well-made. And that's where you get taken by it. It possesses you. I consider Quiz Show the best film of this year. Shawshank Redemption has kind of emerged as the favorite. Previously, it was Pulp Fiction. Outside of the adulation of Forrest Gump, there's been a post-commentary on Forrest Gump. Thank you, Tropic Thunder, for that. And other observations. But Quiz Show is a morally gut-wrenching movie. There's no character you don't feel for, and there's no character you don't root for. This is through the mastery of Robert Redford, who made potentially a top 5. I would say I never made a list. director, actor movie. Right? Like we put Braveheart up there, another 90s movie. But Quiz Show, and I just want to talk to you guys about why this film connects to me, why I feel like it's plugged into me. Because I view it as a true film. It's also a period piece that feels like the period. It just does. It's often what's portrayed as a simpler time, as an innocent time. But it's not innocent. The time's not innocent. It's just looked back that way. Isn't it crazy? Where even during the 90s, it was the downfall of civilization. Everything was going to end in the 90s. But we look back on the 90s now the same way how the filmmakers look back at Quiz Show. Looking back and creating something, cycling back to Woody Allen real quick, that's what Woody Allen does. This is the type of movie I kind of watch and I think about Woody Allen. I think about he would, to where Woody Allen often goes back to his childhood, where he grew up, what he grew up around, the people he grew up with, and he reflects. And there's an honest position he has with a lot of his movies. I feel that's a little bit what Robert Redford is doing. This was the time of his grandparents. This is something that he probably heard about fondly. This is also about the history of entertainment. So just let's gloss over. And I know, AKAPAD, we can get a little bit long-winded before we get into the plots of some of these movies. Quiz Show is the Van Buren family. The father, Mark Van Buren, a highly regarded poet, Pulitzer Prize-winning professor. He has a son, Charles Van Buren. There was a quiz show, and the reigning champion, it's just like Jeopardy, kind of. The reigning, like quiz show is the host asks you the questions, you answer the questions, and he goes back and forth. Jeopardy, we have the big board, we have the different dollar amounts, we have all the different categories. You select, the host doesn't select. A little bit different, but Jeopardy is really derived from 21. 21 is the name of the show. The reigning champion is Herbie Stemple, played by John Turturro, that you at times want to love and hug, but you also just want to strangle him. And then we have Ray Fiennes, who is the Diamond Boy. He's the one that's going to bring in the ratings. So the producers, they rig it to where our golden boy, our diamond boy, Charles Van Doren. I always call him Van Buren. I don't know why. Van Buren rolls off the tongue way more than Van Doren. But they rig it so that he wins. Then they get exposed. And then there's this come to Jesus moment where Charles, and this moment destroyed his life. It challenged the legacy of his family. And you might say, well, how do you know it challenges the legacy of the family? Go to Amazon right now and see how many new printed books from his father, Mark Van Doren, the book that he even won the Pulitzer for. See how many of those are actually in print. It will shock you. But he throws himself on the altar, confesses, big, cinematic, newsworthy, congressional type moment, very similar to Howard Hughes fighting basically for his reputation in the Aviator. That scene where he's in his congressional hearing, sparring, going back and forth. Van Doren in this scene is one of the most truthful and honest scenes we can ever have in cinema. This is a hero's journey. It's a hero's arc. It's a saga of hubris. It's depressing and enlightening at the same time. There's a hodgepodge of emotion. This is dramatic filmmaking at its finest. And you guys often hear about my criticisms about period movies. This film makes you want to live in this time. This film, let's just get the year that this movie takes place in. It's the 1950s. Everyone's in suits. Everyone's got perfectly knotted ties. We even got Martin Scorsese. He plays one of the executives. Martin Scorsese in his best film role too, by the way. He's only been in a handful of movies. This looks and feels like a movie that Scorsese would later make. We'll call it the modern day Scorsese. I don't know, AKAPADers. Whenever I watch Quiz Show, I'm Googling things, I'm looking things up, I'm buying things off of eBay. This current round, I spent a good amount of change to buy a lot of the books from the father. I just need to know more about this family and their legacy. And it's depressing. And it's really the idea that the road to hell is paved with best intentions. Is this a victimless crime? Do people actually care? Do people just want to be entertained? These concepts we still struggle with and deal with every single day. We saw the rise of these arguments with everything that happened with reality television, to where is there like a truth that needs to be maintained? Do we even care? Do we have producers rigging and creating moments for the camera? Do we have people overacting because of the camera? Do we really care, or are we just entertained? Do we just want to be entertained? Quiz Show is, we want to say, in American life, entertainment, and pop culture, Quiz Show is really the 0.0 of all of that. I really feel like this is the best made movie of the year. It's complex. It's a lecture just to explain the complexities of it and the emotional impact, the time it exists in. When you have a movie that quickly kind of bleeds into multiple lectures, you have something special, and that's what this movie is. AKAPADers, whenever you have a chance, Quiz Show, directed by Robert Redford. It's one of the best.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production, take 2.
Let's take this time real quick, AKAPADers, my fellow film buffers, and let's just go over the schedule. This is years in the making. This type of rollout I've been planning for years, but we're finally here. So here we go. Early in the morning, that's the new stuff. 8 a.m. Now, 8 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, these are movies maybe of something coming out. Like if there's a Marvel movie coming out and we want to do a retrospective on that particular franchise, or, if Sylvester Stallone comes back and gives us Rocky Part 18, we might want to use the later time slots for a week or two to go over all of the Rocky movies. Now, we have a lot of different threads on this podcast that's explored 8 p.m. So 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., this is our creator spotlight. We could do an episode on Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, some of the new guys, Spike Lee, even composers, guys like John Williams. This brings us into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday morning. Again, we're back at that 8 a.m. drop. We do cartoons because I want to emulate the times where you would wake up with a bowl of cereal and watch cartoons all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and then eventually you would get to touch grass because you would have one of your friends knocking on your door to play in a touch football game or even some baseball, basketball. The weekend nights, let's get into education. 8 p.m. Again, all of our drops are either 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. But the weekend nights, documentaries, and I focus on creative documentaries because I feel like a part of this film buff movement that we're all bathing in, that I'm super grateful for, is education. And some of where we're finding our facts, some of the, general enjoyment, because I love documentaries. All of this is explored at 8 o'clock p.m. And trust me, there's a lot there. There's a lot out there that I didn't even know existed. And we're going to go beyond that too. We're going to get into some of the graphic art, some of the special effects, some of the makeup documentaries. There's a lot to learn, and I'm so happy to bring you the 9 p.m. because, guys, you guys know I'm an autodidact. I am self-educated. Sure, I have some certifications. Sure, I spend time at the Art Institute of Philadelphia for animation. But in large, I'm a self-educated, self-made person that's connected to the weekend 8 p.m. drops. My AKAPADers, my film buffers, I hope to see you there for all of it. I love you guys, and rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.